listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Hope to win the championship and a few rings. We're talking baseball. It's an orange and blue thing. Walk off if the game's tied like shoestrings. It's a Mets podcast, orange and blue thing. Beat the other team with defense and a few swings. LFGM, it's an orange and blue thing.
What's up, Mets fans? Back at you. Orange and Blue thing, season 5, if you could believe it. Season 5, episode 2 of our little program here. I'm Darren Meenan, and that's Julia Quadrino. What's up, Julia?
Nothing much.
I'm loving your jacket.
Oh, thank you. This was actually a gift to me from someone I met on Twitter. She was
incredible.
moving. She was moving to Detroit, I think, had like no space for it anymore. Was like, I just wanted to go to a good home. I still wanted to go to Citi Field.
No way.
Yep.
That's how I got my seats.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Just random nice people on the internet.
Random generous Mets fans out there giving us free stuff. A lot of the stuff in this studio actually got for free from Mets fans. They're just very generous. But we ended up trading. Long story short, I mean, I told you about it, but people were asking me how I got those seats. This guy that lives in Massachusetts, damn, I should have, I'm saying this guy gave me $1,000 seats.
Planning on talking about this.
We weren't. That's the best part about the show is when we just start talking about random Mets stuff. That's what the show's about. So I got the seats, and then when I went to go pick them up, he lived in Massachusetts. He was down here, yada, yada. I picked them up, and I said, what can I give you? And he said, pay it forward. I said, I have to give you something.
Right.
And then he said, well, now that you mentioned it, I'm a big David Wright fan. Is there any way you could kind of get this photo signed? And I said, it's probably impossible at this point.
Right.
He's in Cali, COVID, not going to see him. Yeah. But I have a David Wright bat that I got from the Mets. Would you want that? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Fair trade.
So we made a trade.
Done deal.
Signed David Wright bat that I didn't display ever for these seats that I love.
Shameful, by the way, but awesome.
I know. So speaking of David Wright, we are going to have Jay Horwitz on the show in a little bit. Shout out to Jay, big friend of the brand. I've known Jay for a while now, and he's been a huge part of the Mets for decades. But we're starting a new thing. You and I talked about it, where the last guest asks the next guest a question. So we have one here from David Wright that is awesome. So we're going
actually a two-parter.
It's a two-part question. David's the man, and humble brag. I got to, I sent him an email. He wrote me back, and so we're gonna ask Jay a question from David. But I guess we can kind of say next week who our guest is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week we're going to be joined by Disha from the Daily News. She's been a Mets beat writer for a couple of years now. I think this might be her 3rd season. And that's just to help kick off a little bit of what we got going on this month, which is what?
It's March is Women's History Month. If you didn't know, today is actually International Women's Day. So I thought it'd be a good idea, especially just with everything going on in baseball and sports right now. We should really start talking about the important women who were with or are still with the Mets organization or played any kind of role. So we're going to have Disha on next week. She will be our featured woman of the week. As somebody, again, who had a failed sports journalism career because I really couldn't kind of handle the grossness that comes with the industry, for lack of a better term. I'm very excited to have a journalist on.
And also just like, current state of the Mets, like what's the difference between last spring trainings and this spring training. So Disha, we're going to be happy to have you next week. Some claps for you.
I approve the use of that button.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna make you a promise. No fart noises today. No fart soundtracks. If you didn't watch last week, I got a soundboard here, and I've been having fun with some sounds here. And last week, I let a couple fly. You know what's funny? Amelia's been saying "whoever smelt it dealt it" lately, which I think is awesome. But she doesn't really understand what it means yet, but she must have heard me say it or Kelly say it. So now she says it, and it's awesome.
Oh, I love it. She's at that perfect age.
I don't know if we talked about this on the show last week, but did I tell you? I think I tweeted about it. We're randomly driving home from the aquarium a couple weeks ago.
I don't think I heard.
And she's like, "Can I get a Coach bag?" Oh no.
Oh, you definitely. I think
Coach
you tweeted about
Prada?
this. Yeah, or like
something.
Gucci or something.
Oh yeah. I want a Gucci bag. It wasn't like, oh, can I go to like Chuck E. Cheese? Like I want a Gucci bag out of nowhere.
Kelly.
Yeah. So
she's been shopping.
We got
with Kelly.
Lizzie in the background giving me the eyeballs here. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. But speaking of International Women's Day, I'm surrounded by females. I
was going to say,
women.
And the 7 line is all women. Yeah. One day might be owned by a woman if Amelia doesn't opt to own a cheerleading merchandise brand instead.
She's actually got a great heart. She's been talking a lot about lately she wants to make shirts and she wants to make t-shirts and donate the profits to charity, because she's been doing a lot at school where they're raising money for some cancer foundation. I don't know which one it is, but it might be the American Cancer Society or something like that, where they sent home like a flyer when you're explaining to her like what it is.
Yeah.
And like the checkout at the supermarket, they'll be like, hey, you want to round up type thing. So she's learning now what that's about, Oh,
that's
so she wants to help out. So maybe there'll be a little Mets t-shirt or something that we can make on our site.
Oh, I love
designed
that.
by her, and then we'll donate the profits. So that's what we got going on.
That would be so cute.
Listen, guys, if you're watching live, that's how you can get some free stuff. We do have a good amount of people watching. We are on 3 platforms right now: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All you have to do is click the little share button, and you will
post it on your wall.
Post it on your wall. Share it to your chat, or what did you say?
Snap it to the chat.
Snap it to the
post
chat.
Post it on your wall.
That's a Howie drop there. So post it on your wall if you're watching right now on Facebook. If you're listening afterwards, though, if you're a podcast listener instead, the way to get involved in the free stuff is after you listen to the show, go to Facebook. If you have Facebook, share the show on your wall. It helps the show grow a little bit. And then that's how you're eligible to win some free stuff. So if you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, whatever, go to Facebook or go to Twitter later and retweet the tweet of this video. And that's how you're in the running for some free stuff. So last week's winners, without further ado, we have on.
You have a drum roll button?
I don't have a drum roll. I just looked. I don't have a drum roll. We'll do some clapping.
We'll work on that.
Some cheering. On Twitter, it is at Mike Dingman. And on Facebook, it's James Raymond Jensen Jr. So those are the last week's winners. The winners get free Met stuff. I didn't write what the free Met stuff is.
Right.
So either it's going to be a gift card, or maybe we'll contact you, get your address, and send you some stuff from the warehouse. I think gift cards the way to go. Let people
pick what they want.
Pick what they want.
Sure.
So you told me before we went live there were some random napkins in this jacket.
I really have not worn this jacket since I wore it to Citi Field. And I was going to grab my winter coat to come here tonight, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll wear that. And I went to spit out my gum before we came on air, and I had Citi Field napkins still in the pocket, which made me simultaneously happy and really sad because they've been in there a long time.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because, a little transition here. I was watching the game yesterday. I don't know if you were, but
I did.
Okay.
I had homemade rum buckets. It was great.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Rum buckets.
Shu made them.
Nice.
We called it Shoe Stew, but continue.
Shoe Stew. How about that? That might be a little dangerous, but anyway, so Gary, they come back from commercial break or, to commercial. I don't know which one it was, but they're mentioning Mets.com, go and buy tickets, yada, yada. Right. Mm-hmm. So Gary, I'm paraphrasing here, but Gary said something about go to Mets.com, get involved in a ticket plan and go to opening day. That is kind of.
I'm sure he was reading from a script.
Of course. No, I'm not saying
that
Gary.
wasn't, yeah. But still, that's.
I'm not throwing Gary into the bus here.
Ambitious phrasing.
The Mets started selling this year's tickets last season.
Yeah.
So early. They've never done that before, ever.
Yeah.
So last summer, July 12th or something was opening day, July whatever. Mm-hmm. By August, they were already selling this year's tickets, right?
I know.
The schedule came out super early. They were already looking forward to the future. I understand 110% why these teams are doing it. They need to operate.
Right.
They got to give Lindor that $300 million.
He needs his money, absolutely.
Breaking news, if you didn't hear, they're talking about an extension. It should.
Oh my God, you
soon.
Probably just scared everyone when you said breaking news. He didn't sign.
No, not yet.
They're talking about it.
Not yet. So, not yet. So the way that it was worded was basically sign up for some Mets plan and go to opening day.
Sure.
You bought opening day tickets and you don't even know if you're going.
I doubt
I have a ticket plan with the 7-Line Army. We don't know what we're doing with our tickets. Like we talked about last week, over 602 people renewed their tickets.
Yeah.
Are they all going? Probably not. So how could they say yesterday on TV, buy a Mets ticket plan and go to opening day?
I just really think they're setting themselves up for just a lot of headache in such a short period of time, because we're now how many days away until opening day?
24 days until opening night in DC.
Oh my goodness.
31 days until the home opener.
That is not a lot of time.
8th, right?
Yeah.
So a month.
Yeah.
A month from today is opening day at Citi Field.
So
not weeks, but a month.
Right. So in this time, they have to both announce what the deal is and then, figure out who amongst people who have already bought tickets gets to go if I'm assuming there's not going to be enough seats for everyone who has bought tickets
especially
already.
If you saw last week, they did email people about pod seating. More details are going to come out this week, so on and so forth. But there's no way that the amount of tickets that they already sold, they're going to be able to accommodate all those people.
Right.
So I've been getting some questions on Twitter about this, and I didn't reply because I wasn't sure exactly how to word it in like 140 characters.
Sure.
But people are asking, I see tickets on StubHub. Should I buy them for opening day? And I would say no, because you're going to pay a premium for that. Like if someone could easily go on StubHub right now, like you could sell your tickets for $400.
It's about what I bought them for.
Really?
Yeah.
From the Mets?
No, I'm going to pronounce this carefully. It's called Tick Pick.
But see, you might get screwed.
I know,
because this is the problem with the third parties right now. If you purchase a ticket on StubHub, let's say for opening day, and that face value is $80, but you pay $300,
right?
You're going to get the $80 credit.
Well, so what happened was
$300.
I bought these tickets last year, and then opening day was canceled, so I had a credit. So I'm like, I'm not spending more money. You know, I would have, because that would make sense. But I'm like, I don't have extra money to be spending on tickets. I still probably won't be able to use. So to me, it's money I already paid. I didn't pay it this year. It was just the credit I had. But no, you're right.
I'd be very wary of it.
Yeah,
so
I would for sure go through
looking
Mets.com.
on the secondary market right now. I'm sure the Mets.com site doesn't even have anything available for opening day. But don't buy tickets on StubHub. You know, not even talking about like our group, because like that's a different story, but
or at least just wait until they announce something.
Just wait.
Yeah.
So we do have Jay in the waiting room. Jay, just sit tight. We'll be with you in just a couple minutes here. I did want to mention, because we started doing something recently with birthdays. So
Happy birthday!
On Friday is Daryl Strawberry's 59th birthday.
Does that make you feel old? Doesn't really do much.
No,
for me.
this next one actually makes me feel old, because the next one is
Happy birthday!
Johan Santana on Saturday is turning 42. I'm 40. We're only 2 years apart.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was watching him in 2006, 2005 at Shea, and I'm like, I always would look at the players and be like, they're older than me.
Yeah.
You know, but back then we were only a couple years apart.
I know.
So.
And he was so much older to me when I was watching him. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't even
Not to put you on the spot, but like, it's 42 is old.
Oh, thanks.
For a baseball player, you're fine.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this month and, and what it means to not only the Mets team, but just in general.
Sure. So like we said, March is Women's History Month. Today is International Women's Day. So we want to try and, use this voice that we have, especially right now when it's such a hot topic, to kind of amplify, elevate, bring attention to important women in Mets history. I thought a really important person to highlight in general, but especially this week, was Shannon Ford. Because it was actually somehow already the 5th year anniversary of her passing this past week. So I feel like everybody should know Shannon Ford's name at this point. But in case you don't, she was really just like a trailblazer for women in baseball. She graduated from St. John's, which is where I went, which is funny because that's how I had first really heard of her when I went to St. John's and I was studying PR, journalism, whatever. And it was right around the time she got sick. And anytime it came up that I was a Mets fan, all my professors were like, oh, Shannon, like whatever. And then I actually, because of that, I think you might have been there too. The event they had at Foley's, the Stand Up to Cancer event for Shannon. Were you there too?
Yeah, I went to that one, and one in New Jersey also.
Yeah, and it was just crazy. You walk in there and it was like Mets personnel, former players, and then fans. Even I know I'm gonna get his name wrong. Jay would know this, obviously. I think his name was Sergio.
Michael Sergio was there. Yeah.
He was there.
Jumper,
and it just showed like everyone, like she's so important to the organization, to everyone as a whole. So she started as an intern in 1994, which is women in baseball in the 90s. Like that's a big deal. She rose through the ranks of the organization. And it's kind of, I feel like a lot of people talk about her, how brave she was and how hard she was working, while she still had cancer, which is amazing. Because let's not, discount, working in New York City for the New York Mets and New York PR with New York media, whatever. That's a hard job on a good day, with all that going on. But it's so important, I think, to highlight that even before she was sick, she was a badass in the industry. She was breaking barriers. I think she was known for having like a reputation as like she fixed things. Like that was, which I feel like most women usually end up with that reputation, but that's why it's important to have women in sports, especially in PR, especially in New York. You need somebody who can fix things. So, she was very involved in all of like the charitable endeavors they did. I think Tuesday's Children. David Wright said that she was very helpful with him in the beginning, setting up his charity and all that. So in so many ways, she was so important. And again, I think it's important to highlight that, her career accomplishments are not defined by the fact that she had cancer. She's not going to be remembered because of her untimely death. She was so much more than that to the organization. And so, like I said, you and I didn't really know Shannon personally, obviously. So I thought it'd be really special to have someone who did come in and kind of share, his insight, his stories. It was not only her boss, but pretty much like family. So we have Mr. Jay Horwitz here today. He was one of the, I think he's probably one of the most legendary figures in Mets history to have never worn a uniform. Everybody knows Jay. He's currently the vice president of alumni public relations and the team historian. But prior to that, he was the vice president of media relations and has been with the organization since 1980. 4 decades of Mets baseball. So that's 40 years. You name any of your favorite players from the past 40 years, he could probably give you 40 hours worth of stories about them. Some of which you might find in his book, Mr. Met, which came out last May. So yeah, let's bring him in.
What's up, Jay? How you doing?
Hey, Darren, I got to apologize. The thing didn't click on my computer, so I went on my phone. So
That's all good. No, the phone is fine. If you could actually hold it horizontally for us, it would fill
Perfect.
the frame there a little bit better.
Is that better?
I think that you might be covering
Your
the
thumb might be
camera
covering
up,
the
though.
camera.
Yeah, but when I lose you now, sugar.
Yeah, we don't see you. We can hear you. But
We can hear you.
If you put it maybe the other way, might be better so they can see you.
Boy. What did I do?
This is great, Jay.
This is live show. Nothing like it.
I
love it.
shouldn't have moved it. Let me click on it again. Hold on a second there.
You take your
No,
time.
he's gone, but
It's
he'll
all
be
right.
back.
He'll be back.
I'm sure Jay will be back. This could not go better, to be honest. This is exactly how I
just feel like this is so part of the Jay Horwitz experience too.
Oh, of course.
Just figuring it out as he goes, and he's going to make it work, and it's going to be great.
Exactly.
And that's
Jay's
just
the
Jay.
man. And we have a lot to talk to Jay about.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back. All he's got to do is click that link again that we sent him. So I've known Jay, I started the 7 Line in 2009. I met Jay really quickly. And, certain events we'd be together at. And
Right.
The last time I saw him was when there was like, what was it? The 50-year anniversary of the 69 Mets winning the World Series. But SNY put together a documentary, and it was because the Jets, the Knicks, and the Mets all won the same year. And we went to the premiere, and Jay was there, so we got to catch up.
Oh, awesome.
Jay is back.
He is
What's up,
back.
Jay? How you doing?
Why did I keep it safe? I'm mechanically inept. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Keep it this
It's
way
all
then.
good.
Keep it like this. That's fine. It's totally fine. So I don't know if you could hear when you were in the waiting room. We were just talking a little bit about Shannon.
100% what you guys right on. The thing is, you got to remember when we hired Shannon in 1994, there was no such thing as women in PR, and I knew she was a keeper right from the get-go. She was dedicated Mets fan. She knew how to keep score. She had enthusiasm, and she wasn't afraid. She didn't back down for anything. She went on road trips with Mike Piazza when he rehabbed. She wasn't afraid to ask favors of the top players. I mean, one of my favorite stories, we're in St. Lucie in a rain delay in practice. I'm sitting on the top of the stands, and Todd Hundley is late for an interview. He was down in the clubhouse playing cards, and Shannon yanked him out in an interview. He said, "Jay needs you. Let's go." I mean, all the guys loved her. What's remarkable, Darren, what she did, have all these different factions. You have the players, the media, the front office, the ownership. And they all loved her because she was a hard worker, dedicated to her family, dedicated to Mets. And she was my right-hand person for, 22 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you pretty much hit everything that we were going to ask, is really to just kind of explain, who she was to you, not only professionally, but as a friend, as a person. But I'm also curious, maybe you still see in the organization today, the effect she had on the women who came after her. Maybe she kind of made things a little easier. Was she there to help, people below her? How do you see her impact as a woman, both in the Mets and just in the industry in general today?
Well,
or
to
throughout her
give you an
career?
example, Melissa Rodriguez, who was an assistant when Shannon first started, she's now the second person in command of the Washington Nationals. And,
Wow.
Shannon was her mentor. And, she would speak to all the, forgive me, I forget a lot of the names, but once a woman came in and was an intern, they sure Shannon had a position of authority. She would talk to them and mentor them and say, "Keep going. I could do it. You could do it." She was just there and she knew her place. She knew what she was doing. It was unusual, and she felt she had an obligation to women who called in. And somebody called in on the phone needed a recommendation for a job. Shannon was always there. So she knew her place in history. And you hit 100% on the nail was, her battle with cancer shouldn't define her. She was so much more than that. And she was just inducted into the, New York Baseball Hall of Fame, first woman inducted there. And she wasn't inducted because she had cancer. She was inducted what she did to the game. She edited probably the best press guide in all Major League Baseball. She ran the 2013 All-Star Game. She worked for MLB for the playoffs, World Series, and all the people in MLB knew what kind of a worker she was, and she was always tapped to do those things.
Yeah. No, you know what? This is why I wanted to have Jay come on to talk about it, because I knew he was going to just bring it home, because nobody was closer with her than you were. And I think you're exactly right. She was a perfect embodiment of what can really be when we embrace women in sports and what they can really do. So, Jay, thank you. I'm so happy you came on to talk to us about that. And honestly, I feel like, Shannon is probably the only other person who probably has as many stories about this team and organization as you do, because she saw a lot of it with you. And of course, you did us the favor of putting a lot of that down in a book, which is awesome. We can see the book, the foreword was written by Jacob deGrom. So I'm kind of curious, out of 40 years of players that you've worked with, why did you ask Jacob to write the foreword for you?
I'll tell you what the deal was. 2 years ago, I switched over. I was the head of the alumni relations. So they said, who's the youngest? Who do you have the relationship with on the team? And Jacob deGrom. Jacob, I'm about 40 years older than Jacob. So we had this deal. I would ask him for an interview. He said, okay, we had this basketball net in the locker room. If you make 2 or 3 shots, I'll do the interview for you. I never made 2 or 3 shots. Jacob always did the interview. Another time, you got to go outside and hit a phone goes to me and Stephen Matt. Probably hit one of every 30 balls. But Jacob and I, we hit it off. He's probably, no doubt in my mind he's going to win another Cy Young. All Jacob cares about is pitching. And we had this unique relationship that, he would ask me to do things. See, Darren, I never wanted to be a suit. I wanted to be one of the guys. I would be a subject of laughter, of practical jokes. And, Jacob and I would do these things. He never once refused me an interview. And that's kind of relationship we had. And I went to him. He said, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. So he sat down with the author, wrote this nice thing. But they wanted to let people know I could relate just to the younger guys and not just the old guys like myself.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, you hit the nail on the head too with just kind of being down for everything, because, with the emergence of social media, towards the third decade of your career with the Mets.
That's a big transition.
I got the bobblehead here on the desk. If anyone's listening afterwards, they can't see it, but you did the bobblehead here with you holding a cell phone. You were part of the ice bucket challenge. You did the Harlem Shake. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of things, but how did they have to really twist your arm into any of that stuff, or were you kind of just down for anything?
No, never a twist. Johnny Franco told me, to get along in the locker room, you have to be able to laugh at yourself, be the butt of a practical joke. This video cost me $2 million, man. The funny story with this. In 2011, I broke my ankle, and I was out of work. I had gone like 20 years with 162 games. So I broke my ankle, and I was suing the place when I fell. And when it really went viral, my lawyer said, well, I love your video, but you just screwed the case.
No.
Oh, my God.
Way.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care. Yeah, I was always, I could have written a whole book of all the stuff that Johnny Franco did to me, putting white on my glasses, cutting my ties, ice cream in my suits, racking my work bag. It was all out of love, and and that's how I viewed it as. I mean, if you take that kind of stuff seriously, you couldn't exist in a locker room for as long as I did.
Oh my God, that's the $1 million Harlem Shake video. You know what
my lawyer said, you got great moves, bouncing around on your bad ankle, which is not going to sell well with the place you're suing.
Oh no!
You know what? It's funny. I posted that. I reposted that the other day as we have our phone ringing here, which actually never rings in the studio. I apologize. So I reposted the video the other day, and it's funny how many Mets fans hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're like new to social media, maybe they're a little bit younger and they were just confused. They'd never seen it before.
Right.
So Gary, Sending the Clowns, Gary actually texted me that I guess he donated all the costumes.
I was going to ask, where did all those costumes come from?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So
that's me dancing with Troy Hawkins in the front of the thing.
I figured I want to know who is who, and I'm sure you can't probably remember all of them.
What did you want to know though? Which one were you?
David
Rudolph.
White was involved with it. You know what? It was a team bonding thing in the beginning of the year. They asked me to do it, so I did it. You know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I know mine was there's a Rudolph pulling like a Frosty the Snowman in a cart, and I've just always wondered who those two are. I don't know if you remember.
I can't remember. It was fun. You know,
It's so many people.
I was always afraid, never to be afraid to laugh at yourself. You know,
Absolutely.
It's just in any kind of sports environment, you can't, and you just won't exist for that long. And that's the way I did it. And you know, I could have written a whole book of the jokes that Johnny Franco pulled on me, but
it's funny. The only guy to show his face besides you is Daniel Murphy.
Oh my God, I love that. Daniel Murphy was so confident in his dance moves. You can see it in his face. He felt himself. It was amazing. It was my favorite part of the video.
It was a fun thing to do, you know. I mean, everybody get a kick out of it. The only problem was I had like 4 takes to do it, and the end, I couldn't even walk up to my office after that. My ankle was so sore.
Well, I'm sure you got a lot of great stuff in the book, and I'm sorry, you know, you and I have talked a lot about having you on the show, and I wanted to do it in person, but when COVID hit, obviously neither of us are at the ballpark.
I become a hermit, Darren. I'm in my house in New Jersey. I go out for a walk, and I'm just trying to be safe like everybody else.
Oh yeah, of course. So we do have more to get to with you, but I want to promote the book a little bit. I have it on the screen now. It's obviously on Amazon like everywhere else, but wherever books are sold, it's called Mr. Met: How a Sports Mad Kid from Jersey Became like family to generations of big leaguers. Definitely go check it out.
Yeah, one last thing. It should be about Shannon, National Women's Month. She was the greatest, a great worker, great legacy, and people can't forget her. 5 years seems like it was yesterday. Yeah. But she was just a tremendous part of the Mets history, and I'm glad you took a little time to remember her today. It means
I don't want you to go yet, though. Unless you're in a rush. I have a couple more things. No. Cool, because what we're starting a new thing here where the last guest asks the next guest a question. David Wright was our last guest, our previous guest before you. So we have one here from David. But before we get to that, I have a few things when I was searching for some images here for the show. I want to ask you if you can recall. I'm going to show you a photo and tell me what's going on here, because I'm just a little confused. Maybe you can shed some light.
We call this back in Jay's heyday, or Jay Day.
Back in the Jay Day. All right. So tell me if you remember what this could be about.
Yeah, I had gone on to Twitter. Jeff Wilpon had wanted me to go into Twitter to be myself, and this was during the height of David's, when the David's WBC's appearance, and he was nicknamed Captain America. So I went by his locker. He wasn't there, and I was the real Captain America that day. It was tough getting into that costume, I can tell you that.
It's similar to the one you wore in the Harlem Shake video. Yeah, Tight blue is just your thing.
Well, you and David seem to have a great relationship too. I mean, down at spring training, that photo of you sticking your tongue out wearing his uniform, you guys seem to have a great relationship.
Yeah, he's a special kind of guy, and he's been a good friend for a lot of years. And now he's in California with raising 3 young kids, and he's busy being a good dad.
Yeah.
So let's ask you if you remember what this one's about.
This was my 65th birthday. We're standing in front of a restaurant in New Jersey, and somebody gave me a gift, like a traffic coordinator. So I went out on Route 46. I was commanding traffic for about an hour. I almost got hit by a car a couple of times. It was fun, though.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, I zoomed in. I think it says crossing guard on the bottom there.
Yes.
If you're listening afterwards,
my new career.
If you're listening afterwards, definitely go back and watch the replay of the show. We got some great images here. I got 2 more here for you. I obviously know what this is from, but just walk me through maybe what it's like being in a moment like this.
That was great. That was 2015. We all worked for, and the locker room. I was in Chicago, I think, right?
Yep.
The backer. Just that we swept the Cubs, and you're with these guys from like February to the end of the year. And for them to spritz me makes you feel like you're part of the team,
Right.
I put the goggles on this time. But just like one of the guys, and it was a big moment.
All right, and this one I think is excellent. It's black and white. It's an old one. I don't know if you remember it, but what is going on here with these 2 beautiful girls giving you a kiss?
Well, that was Bobby Bonilla's bowling tour, if I remember correctly. They were the Rango girls, or the whatever girls. And it was the end, and we used to help Bobby with his bowling tournament. So at the end, I guess they were, trying to close you up to a chubby Jewish guy.
I love it. I zoomed in. I think that they're wearing like Budweiser. They're probably like a sponsor of the Mets, the team.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, wrong beer. It's all good. Now they're on to Coors Light over there at the ballpark.
Woohoo!
Cool. So I want to get to that question from David because this is a funny one.
Two-part.
It's a two-part question. So first part is, ask Jay about all the confrontations he nearly got in with the media members. I would need more than 2 hands to count the times where I would walked in on Jay getting into it with a media member about a BS article or someone taking a cheap shot at a player. He really cared a lot about the players and had our backs. I'd be interested in hearing if there was ever anything physical or just verbal.
Oh boy, I don't think. Well, listen, my physique, I don't think anything was physical. I mean, one time, well, I don't know if you remember, Darren, a couple of years ago, Ryan Church had got a concussion.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we flew him across the country, and it was a reporter from one of the New York papers, criticizing Ryan for something, and he got in his face, and I stepped in the middle, and we had some stuff when in the middle of the '80s when Darryl and Doc and Keith to a lesser extent got into trouble, and my whole thing was only baseball matters, only baseball questions. So when it got to carry, I would always step in, and never took a blow, but I was always there to protect the players. And I think the guys do that, which makes me feel good.
Aw.
Absolutely. It's always great to, have someone in your corner, especially, in the clubhouse. I'm sure it gets a little tense sometimes. But his second question was, ask Jay who his favorite third baseman is of all time.
Hubie Brooks. No, he knows it's David Wright. I mean, he knows it's David Wright. And, but that's it. Was one time I was being quizzed somebody who my favorite Met was, and I said John Franco, and it got back to him, and I didn't hear about it for about 2 months. Who's your favorite Met? John Franco? Get John Franco to do the interview. so he never let me forget that part of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Listen, Jay, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you.
I screwed up the phone, guys.
It's great.
Jay, it was perfect.
And I can't wait to see you again in person.
All right, good. Be good. Like, stay healthy. That's the main thing, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and again, pick up Jay's book. It's called Mr. Met.
Okay.
It's pretty much available wherever books are sold. And maybe bring it to the ballpark. Jay could sign it for you one day when we get back
I
there.
hope so, guys. Be well, guys. Huh?
Thanks a lot.
You too.
Have
Thanks,
a good
Jay.
one.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
He's the best.
Oh my God. I'm so happy. Like what happened with the phone happened. I just felt like that was the perfect sprinkle on top.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Put a little sprinkle on the top. That was great. So
Yeah.
definitely go pick up Jay's book. I have a copy here, and I showed you a photo of it the other day,
Mhm.
and I didn't know that it was like a pre-copy.
Yeah, there was a sticker on it. It said not for sale. Like it was unproofed, whatever. So I was like, I don't think we can give that away. I don't think we could show that.
Yeah. So we're not showing the cover of the book because
Right.
it's not the
correct official
one that
cover. Yeah.
You just saw it. So if you're listening afterwards again, we want you to go over and share the show. That's how you get into the running to get some free stuff.
Post it on your wall.
And that's the story. So definitely go ahead and do that. We forgot to do this in the beginning. We have so many people watching live across the different platforms,
Mhm.
and I want to know where people are from. So in the comments, maybe we can give a prize out. Well,
Yeah, who's furthest
no,
away?
I was just going to say that. Someone's going to lie and say they're on, in Australia or something.
Right.
But post where you're from in the comments. Want to just get a feel for that. I was looking at the statistics or the stats of the show,
Mhm.
and last week's downloads, there was just as many downloads of old episodes combined as the newest one, which
That's
is weird.
strange.
Yeah, so people are going in. A lot of people are going in and watching the old shows.
Maybe they watched
Even
us
without
last week and were
guests.
like, this is great. We need to watch all of them.
Yeah, we gotta binge watch 5 seasons of Orange and Blue thing. Yeah, so that's really cool.
That's
So
awesome.
I understand if it's an interview, like the Jay one
Sure.
is timeless now.
Yeah.
But like the David Wright one is timeless.
Right.
Learning that he likes Paw Patrol and
Oh,
whatever else it is.
amazing. I
But
wonder if he ever got the dog. We got to find out.
episodes where we're just talking about Mets stuff,
Yeah.
current Mets stuff,
Mhm.
that doesn't make any sense why anyone would listen to that now.
I know.
But hey, I love it. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Keep downloading.
So,
We're not discouraging you.
shout out to, we're going to pull some of you guys in here. We got Brandon in Chandler, Arizona. We got Jim in Maspeth, Queens. We got Shouty watching from Hofstra right now. What's up, Shouty? We got Jonathan in Central Georgia. So
Wow.
we're filling in the East Coast here. We got
It's a little early for West
where's this
Coasters.
sorry, Joe in Florida. So yeah, everyone's checking in. So we got
Awesome.
Ryan watching on YouTube from Boca Raton, For whatever reason, I had an old friend that used to call Boca Raton the rat's mouth. I don't know why he would call it that.
I have nothing for you.
I don't know
I
if
have
that's
nothing
like
to contribute to
I don't know
that
if that's
statement.
a real thing or he just used to
I
say
have
that.
no idea.
But this guy Darrell, I used to ride BMX with this. Oh, the rat's mouth, Boca Raton. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Someone confirm or deny that.
Yeah. So we want to give us another special shout out to our friends over at Dugout Mugs. What's up? Oh, okay.
Thank God
So
for Lizzie.
Lizzie just confirmed the Boca Raton means the rat's mouth.
Just confirmed. Two very white people are hosting this show.
Boca is mouth and Raton
Is rat.
is rat. Okay, so anyway.
So we just only speak English, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but
Thank you,
whatever.
Lizzie.
Thanks for popping in. We want to give a special shout out to our friends over at Dugout Mugs because Dugout Mugs has been a friend of ours for a couple of years now, and last week's promo they're running it this week as well. So go to dugoutmugs.com/7line, number 7 LINE, and you can get a free knob shot, which is freaking spectacular. They take the bottom of a baseball bat, hollow it out, and turn it into a shot mug. I'm not calling it a glass, but it's a knob shot. They call it the knob shot. We talked about it last week about doing the power hour.
That's what somebody I think said it was.
But then they replied. Did you see that? I think they added both of us.
I did.
They said they do it for the extra 30 minutes. So it's like it's 90 ounces in an hour and
I
a half.
don't think that's drinking
beer.
responsibly. I don't think Coors would want us.
No,
to
that's
do
not responsible at all. That's crazy.
That's my excuse for why I can't do that.
These are freaking awesome. They're engraved. If you're not a Mets fan and you're still watching the show, we appreciate you watching the show. But they are the only ones that have the MLB license, the MLBPA license. They're handmade in Florida.
Right.
Well, they have tooling, but they're made in Florida. So head on over to dugoutmugs.com/7line. You get a free one. All you got to do is pay the shipping. They're normally $24.50. So you're getting an insane deal. If you're not into the knob shot, you don't like free stuff for whatever reason. They have so many different offerings. They have the wine mugs. They have their regular mugs. You can get a photo engraved on here. We talked about this last year.
Yeah.
Great Father's Day gifts.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool stuff that they have over on their site. So definitely go check them out. Follow all their social media. Get involved. They're always doing giveaways.
Yeah.
They're giving stuff away, getting people involved, teaching people about their process. And we're really excited to have them a part of our family as well. So definitely go check them out. Free. How could you not want something for free?
What do we got?
I don't know what I wanted to do here. I was going to do
Clapping.
Some claps. Some claps for Dugout Mugs. So we covered opening day. We talked about opening night being in DC. But if you haven't heard, the Mets are playing a game today. It's not televised.
I know.
It's not on the radio.
I don't think any more Monday games are televised because I remember it's my only
next Monday they're off.
Yeah, it's my only day off of the week, and I remember being so mad I can't watch a single game because they're not playing on TV. So we don't have to compete with them anymore, which is great.
But we understand why.
Right.
This year,
Sure.
Madge, who runs the Mets booth Twitter account, wrote that they in years past they would do the road games as well on the radio, and they didn't really see the needle move all that much.
Yeah.
On the rating side, I guess of it. I certainly still listen to it
Same.
because I spend a lot of my time either here or in the car.
I'm always in the car, yeah.
So I have the game on, and with COVID now, they're not trying to send Howie and Wayne to be in booths and travel and yada yada. So that's the reason why they're not doing it as much this year. But ESPN is broadcasting or whatever, hosting or airing opening night, which is on April 1st. So it's
Howie, your time to shine.
Howie and Wayne are going to see a spike. They do such a phenomenal job anyway. But what I used to do when I lived in Queens, and I still have it. It's like this tower, like docking station,
right?
And you could pause because you could pause your television. Whichever one is ahead or behind, you pause and sync it up.
Just wait, yeah.
So I synced up in the World Series in 15 so I can listen to Howie and Josh Lewin at the time, and them. I want them to do the game, not
absolutely
Fox.
Absolutely.
And ESPN is horrific.
They're so bad.
The other day, was it opening day? No, it was the second game on Friday. I watched at home. It was on ESPN. The whole first inning, they're doing like a split screen interview with like Soto or something. Right. They didn't talk about the game at all.
And wasn't it like he wasn't even there?
He was like home somewhere.
Have we not had enough Zoom interviews for one lifetime? Let's just watch some freaking baseball.
It was hard to watch. Like I almost turned it off. Like I didn't want to be the person who's just like tweeting the entire time about my hate for ESPN because like obviously people don't want to just see that because If you go on your
Yeah.
timeline, it's all it was.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
people
yeah.
hating on ESPN.
I didn't even get to watch the game. This is how I know. It's my timeline was just in shambles. Yeah.
Horrible. Where it's like almost got to the point where I just wanted to turn it off. And like Lindor,
Yeah.
Lindor, love Lindor, love Dom Smith,
Right.
love all these guys that they interviewed.
Right.
Sandy was on, which his mask looked like it was upside down, but it wasn't.
God bless
The
him.
mask was correct because Kelly and I were sitting there watching it like, is this upside down? But the mask was, had the peak in the right spot,
Right.
but the print was wrong.
Oh.
So you must have got a misprint or whatever.
Maybe it was like inside out.
No. It was the logo was the correct way, but it was upside down.
Oh no.
So whatever. I love hearing
Sandy, get your
from
money
them,
back.
but I don't need to hear Lindor for an inning.
Or at least maybe
you know?
like by the third
was
week
annoying.
of spring training, when people have had enough of spring training games, then you throw those in there. But like the first couple games, people just want to watch baseball.
Yeah,
like that's why we're watching.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was definitely hard to watch. Is ESPN? What is this comment here? Is ESPN putting Booger McFarlane on the broadcast? I'm just reading some comments here. So anyway, that's what's going on opening night.
Yeah.
I would say under normal circumstances, I would be like, screw it, I'll just go to DC instead of having
Yeah.
to watch it on ESPN.
Yeah.
But, I'm not trying to put.
We used
myself
to
out
do
there
that.
right now.
2015, we went down to DC for opening day.
And
That
I-
was the best.
And I called it on the way home.
Yep.
Well, I would have said it anyway. What I'm talking about is on the way home, like, well, World Series.
Well,
this year.
I got a picture with David that day. I had a big sign that said something like, you got to believe the captain will right the ship. And it was like, we were going to make the playoffs. And I was like, I'm so happy I have that picture from like 2015 opening day. It was like any other year, it would have been like,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah. So obviously we're not going down. We don't even know if we're going down for our outing. I think that's in like not April. I think it's in like June.
Yeah.
Our first one's supposed to be Tampa in May. So I posted a photo of a new shirt we're coming out with. It looks like a recliner. It says LGM
I saw
2021.
it. That was good.
And the caption I wrote was like, looks like we're going to be watching a lot of games from home again. And everyone's like, oh, wait, what did you hear? Are we not going? It just means that there's no way, if you saw the shirt, if you didn't see the shirt, whatever, go check it out. It's probably going to do pretty well for us.
After the show, don't leave.
Don't leave the show. Do it afterwards. The whole premise of it is I don't see a ballpark being 100% capacity
There's
until
no
at least
way.
2022.
There's no way.
I mean, Texas, they probably would.
Yeah.
But just because they're reckless.
Right.
But, I don't see it happening. So that's what it means. It means like we're probably not going to a lot of games.
Right.
If you get to go to some, cool. If not, you're going to be watching from home.
You're probably
That's
not
what the
going to
shirt's
go
about.
to as many as those people who go to games frequently are probably not going to go to nearly as many as they would ideally in a normal season.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, nothing's canceled. We have so much stuff planned.
yeah.
I hope we can get there and we'll see what happens. But first things first, we have to know what's going on
Right.
April 8th at Citi Field. You have tickets. You don't know if you're going. I don't know if I'm going.
It's so stressful.
People have to plan their lives,
I
take
know.
off of work and
to take off of work. And I think
these dogs are not going to walk
these
themselves.
dogs are not going to walk themselves. Okay. And my assistant, Kristen, who's one of my good friends, I met her, through the Mets. She's a huge Mets fan. So I never make her work opening day either. Cause that's just like, I'm going to go to Citi Field. You have to go walk dogs. Like I literally just tell people opening day. I don't tell them, cause it's opening day, but I'll be like, cutie care is closed on April 8th, whatever the date is. And I never do that. I never say we're unavailable for walks. So everyone's like, fine, no big deal. And so I'm at the point where like, I need to give the heads up. It's like a month out. Like I need people to make arrangements for who's going to come let their dog out that day. And I want to do that, but I also don't want to lose a whole day of business if I don't have to.
Do you play Who Let the Dogs Out a lot?
I don't. You know what? I actually, when Corona started and they were telling you to like sing songs while washing your hands,
20 seconds.
that was my song of choice.
No
And
way.
I was.
I gotta add that to our.
Yeah.
We definitely need to add that every time you talk about work. Who let the dogs out?
I wasn't talking about the hot dog.
So
That's good too, though.
yeah, that is pretty good. I wasn't talking about the hot dog. So are you blocked by Stroman?
No, I love Marcus Stroman. He tweeted me the other day when he was beefing with Bauer because Bauer. I hate speaking his name and giving him the attention he wants.
Such a toolbox.
I know, but I'll just reiterate.
You and I almost made like a deal we weren't going to talk about him
Yeah.
that much, but I mean,
I'm talking about Stroman. I'm not talking about him, but I have to talk to him to get there.
But did you see that he pitched with one eye closed on purpose because he wants to make it harder on himself?
I saw that
What a
and I
freaking
scrolled right
loser.
past it. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not giving this attention.
Such a loser.
Like, listen, he is very much trying to be the player who makes baseball interesting.
I want to find some Dodgers fans to come on the show. And
I
be like,
know.
what do you think of this
Yeah,
guy? What
yeah.
a tool.
He's like, listen, people are going to say in the day, if he pitches great. All power to you.
Loser.
But he's the player who's making baseball, in my opinion, more hateable. And I cannot say if that's the same for the players. I think Mets players have kind of had enough of him, but I don't know what he's like as a teammate. I'm not going to say whatever, but he, there was Stroman had tweeted something about, there's no excuse for not treating women and people of color with respect or something like that. And somebody in Bauer chime in, well, why can't we treat everybody with respect? Just like, shut up. So I found a tweet that Bauer had sent to someone. This was a couple weeks ago.
No way.
A couple weeks ago. So Bauer, I found a screenshot of a tweet that Bauer had sent.
You can compare that to a lot of other
I
things.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's not the right response.
Not great. So, because I think it was like something how, they were criticizing Bauer. And so Bauer's like, well, why are you being disrespectful to me? Like that was his angle.
Right.
And I was like, there was a screenshot when he tweeted a fan that said, it was something like, feel free to quit life. No one will miss you. Like, we won't miss you. I'm like, you literally told a fan to kill yourself and no one would miss you. And Stroman saw that and he was like, sheesh, with like the eye roll emoji or whatever. So I know I am not blocked by Marcus Stroman.
Well,
I love Marcus
that
Stroman.
up is because anytime Stroman does anything,
yeah,
positive, he doesn't do anything negative,
right.
In my eyes. But when he's putting stuff out there and being as he's feeling himself, which I understand that that doesn't rub everyone the same way.
People hate confidence, man.
But he is more than confident. He's overconfident, which is great.
You have to be as a professional athlete. In New York?
I'm not him. I've never walked in his shoes.
Right.
I don't know what he goes through day in and day out, whether he's a professional athlete or not,
mm-hmm.
whether he's at the ballpark pitching or what he goes through.
Right.
But if that's what makes him
better,
feel confident and comfortable in his own skin and wants to go out there and perform and be the man, then let him do it.
Absolutely.
But yesterday when he didn't have the great spring training, who
friggin' cares? Yeah.
Well, I only bring it up because on his season, spring training season debut, whatever you want to call it. He was great. And I'm like, oh, he's great. Let's get behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So then yesterday he wasn't so great. It was always like, all right, cue the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
But second start out, trying to work on things, so on and so forth. But positivity and PMA, whatever you want to call it,
mm-hmm.
goes a long way. My mom went through a cancer scare a few years ago, and I was talking to her about being as confident and strong in the brain as you could be because it helps so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm not I did go to Catholic school. I don't have to go into XYZ here, but like I'm not a very spiritual guy.
Sure.
So I almost feel weird sometimes being like, I'll pray for you because like I don't pray.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's phony to say, but like I'll keep my thoughts, positive vibes, whatever you want to say.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like I don't know about his faith, but if that's what gets him to be a better person, then how could you not have someone's back that wants to be positive?
Not only that, there's so much freaking negative crap in the world. If what's ruining your day is Marcus Stroman saying, I'm positive and I'm a happy person and I make people's lives better, go take a walk. Yeah. There is so much to be angry about if a confident man being good at his job and saying it out loud bothers you. That's a you problem.
Yep.
I mean, I think we have had so many negative stories about negative players being lazy or whatever. And here we have somebody who is showing you every single day I put the work in. I'm the best version of myself I'm going to be, and I want you to know it. What is wrong with that? If you have a problem, listen, I know he's block happy, trigger happy, but whatever. If you're, I totally get it. He has thousands and thousands of followers and just unnecessary voices giving their opinion every single day. If you had the option to, when an annoying person is telling you something you don't want to hear and to block them in real life, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Do you block a lot of people?
Honestly, I don't block on Twitter. I always say, starve a troll. Just don't acknowledge and they'll go away.
I'm a nobody. And I have people who like a few people that hang on my every word. I could write that. Like I wrote something recently, like about like juicing or something like, I try to be healthy,
right.
We're drinking a lot of water. Like
juicing isn't juice, it's not steroids.
Right. No. Yeah. Like making fresh juice at home
right.
or having smoothies or, I have like a pretty plant-based diet now.
Yeah.
And then like, they hated on that. I was like, if you're a complete stranger, we never met each other and you care about like what I'm doing, you're a real loser.
That's the thing. I mean,
I'm on so low on the totem pole compared to like the world.
Right. Right.
And you care about what I do?
I mean, I just think anything like that, like
freaking
personal decisions, like why do you care? I don't know. I love Marcus Stroman. He's going to kill it this year. And I can't wait for everyone who hates him to just have to eat crow.
So speaking of positive vibes, we do want to mention our boy, Michael Barron.
Oh, yes.
Who is going through a lot right now. And, he posted something this morning.
I loved that.
He's wearing a Seaver t-shirt to go for a biopsy this morning at Sloan.
Yeah.
And, same thing I wrote to him was like, positive mind, positive body, like, strong mind, strong body. Like you got it. Like, I feel like when you accept defeat,
if you're going in thinking this is going to suck, it's going to suck.
Right.
You know, you have to have a positive mindset and everything. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I don't want to get too much into his own personal life, although he's been pretty open about it. But Michael Barron, he used to write for Mets blog back in the day. Great photographer. If you don't follow him, you should. He has had the most unreal month I can ever fathom. Him and his mother were both hospitalized with COVID. I think they're both okay and recovered from that. But while he was in the hospital with COVID, they were doing like a chest x-ray or something, and they found cancer.
Right.
So now he has cancer. And last week, his 9-year-old daughter was hit by a car in front of him. She's fine. Everything is okay.
He was like dropping her off to school.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
Can
maybe
you
crossing the street
even
or something.
fathom that all in 1 month?
No.
So
the kids keep on coming.
Yeah.
And
prayers, thoughts, whatever you give them to him.
Absolutely.
We are all thinking of you. I can't even imagine.
Wild.
And if there's anything that we can do to help, I just want him to throw up a GoFundMe or something, like
anything.
I just feel so terrible.
Let us know. Yeah, we have a good relationship. The canvases that we were selling for a little bit, he shot the one from opening day at Citi Field in 2009.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, it was the photo of the field with the American flag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he shot that, and we were selling it on our site for a little bit. So
yeah.
Shout out to the whole Barron family. We're thinking of you for sure.
Yeah.
A couple more things to catch up on before we turn this thing off. We pretty much ran down the whole thing, but if you didn't hear the news this morning on the little Twitter machine there, I'm trying to be.
Where's the button? Find the button.
So the
you
Mets,
have to write the button next to each thing.
You know what it is? I have to color coordinate them.
Yeah.
This morning, like pretty early, which I was actually happy that you were up very early.
I was up early walking dogs.
The Mets and Lindor are going to start sparking up this conversation about the extension.
Let's go.
And that's definitely something you don't want that to loom over into the season. Like, get it over. If you're going to do it
he
now.
already said he's not going to negotiate in season. I'm not going to lie. But like, I know that, it's a new chapter for the Mets, but there's still that innate fear in me that, if he spends too much time here, he's going to be like, I got to get out.
Yeah.
Lock him up before he knows what New York is really like.
Not anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not anymore, but I still have that like PTSD of like.
Right.
But no, I think it'll be fine. I just really hope they do lock him up before the season starts. It's just the constant questions.
But how do you think that makes Conforto feel? They got to do both. They got to get them both done.
I agree.
And, can they really? Well, I don't know. I'm not. Steve Cohen's pocket right now, but Lindor is going to definitely get at least $300 million.
Yeah.
I think
it's
money.
I think it's fair to wait on Syndergaard because he's been hurt for the majority of the past few seasons.
I'm cool with that.
But Conforto, Lindor, get it done.
Yeah.
Why not? There's no reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get it done. So I know I'm getting annoying here.
It wasn't a fart. It's fine.
No fart sounds this week. I'm fart free. Listen though, but share the show, get involved. We want to, help grow the show a little bit.
Post it on your wall.
If you're on Facebook, post it on your wall. If you're on Twitter, definitely hit the little retweet button. That's how you get involved in getting free stuff.
Yeah.
We give away free stuff each week. And if you're listening afterwards on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, whatever, we appreciate those listens as well. We love it. But go on over and share the show, and that's how you can get some free stuff. So
awesome.
I know that Coming to America, what year were you born again?
95.
Yeah. So the first Coming to America was out for like 9 years before you're born, I think. So you may not have even seen
some of it. Yeah, I've seen some of it.
The sequel, not good.
You know what? How much pressure are you putting on a sequel this many years later for such an iconic movie? I could have told you it wasn't going to be as good as the first one.
Do you remember when people would be like, oh, that movie was so good, it went straight to tape? Well, it's like funny because now it went straight to Netflix because they're, you can't. I think theaters are open, but Netflix, man, they had to shell out a lot of money for this because not only is like pretty much everyone that's alive from the first one still in the movie, but they had so many cameos in this movie where it was almost to the point where there was too many cameos where they were like trying too hard.
It was too much stuff. I
don't know if you saw the Entourage movie, but like everyone was in the Entourage movie where it was almost like, oh, now this person's in it. It's like, it's too much.
Right.
So I wasn't blown away by it, but I did watch the Biggie documentary last night on Netflix. I highly recommend that one. It was also before your time.
Oh, have you watched Free Britney? Did we talk about this?
Kelly's been watching it. I'm not a Free Britney guy.
Oh my God, you should be. Everyone should be on board to Free Britney, but I digress. Continue.
But the stuff that's been coming up after the fact, because of like people are shining light on some things because of the Britney stuff. Like David Letterman's pretty creepy.
Oh my God. Have you watched some of his old interviews?
I saw the Paris Hilton one.
Did you see the Lindsay Lohan one?
Did you see the Jennifer Aniston one?
No. What did he do, my girl Jen?
Gross.
Ugh.
He like goes around her and like tries to like kiss her neck, and she's like, "What are you doing?" Then he puts her hair in his mouth and like sucks on it. and then gives her a napkin and she cleans it off.
It's terrifying how recent this was. And we were just like all
and
okay
she
with
looked
it.
and she even said to him, like, the people in the front row are like horrified right
Yeah.
now. And he was like, all right. He just kept it moving. Like that was no big deal.
Yeah.
Really, really weird.
Creepy. Times are changing and
Really,
thank freaking God.
Really weird. And this is where we get off the rails a little bit. But yeah, some things I remember I texted you the other day because you're in that you probably watched like Harry Potter and shit like that.
Yeah.
To ask you who the new Batman was.
Well, you said it was either the Twilight or the Harry Potter.
So I'd
guy.
never seen either of them.
And I was like, oh my God, that means it's either Daniel Radcliffe or Rob Pattinson. And I was like, Daniel Radcliffe would be a terrible Batman. It has to
It
be
was
Rob
Pattinson.
Pattinson. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which
there's
I
the
could
new
kind of
Batman
see.
coming out. Now we're kind of getting off the rails here. But listen, guys, we have fun doing this each week. Get involved, share the show, come back each week, tell your friends. We have a good time with it. Next week, we have Disha from
Woohoo.
Daily News. Disha, did I ever talk about that?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the show, but it's good to
So
reiterate.
next week, Disha's going to be on the show.
Yep.
We'll chat up with her about, all things Mets, state of the team, what it's like being down there at spring training this year with all the different protocols and so on and so forth. Yeah. So opening day, I mean, hopefully by next
and we got to get
Monday-
Jay to ask her a question to continue our tradition now.
We do.
We got to reach out to Jay.
I'll reach out to Jay and get a question.
Jay has to ask Disha a question.
Thanks so much to David Wright for helping us out with that interview with Jay. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else we didn't cover here?
I don't.
The show went quick.
Yeah, that was really.
I gotta go to
fast.
Queens now. Did I tell you that?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'll tell you about it afterwards. I'm going to Queens now. It's great that we started at noon because it gives me the extra hour to now drive on to LA,
right?
Which I hate. So 24 days till opening night, 31 days until the home opener. We will see if we're going to be there. I don't know if we will. Hopefully by next Monday, we have more clarity on that. Thank you guys so much for checking in with us on the chat. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate it. If you're watching this afterwards on Instagram, got nothing for you, but go back and do the share stuff and we'll get you in the running for some free stuff, free Met stuff.
Awesome.
So thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, David Wright. We'll see you guys next week. And that's it.
Put it in the box. Put it in the box.
Oh my God.
All right. I had to. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.